now I'm not like sitting right in the middle
Okay, guys, we're live.
of the screen. You can see it between us.
So welcome. This is episode 28, behind the ToolBelt with TC Backer Construction. Real quick, we just appreciate everybody. This social community is made up of everyone that participates, likes, shares, puts in their town, asks a question, applies for a job, does business with one of these companies. Today we got Chris Markey, and we're super excited. To the T Outfitters. They basically are everywhere in New York. So if you pick up a cup or you have a hat on or you're wearing a shirt, it's probably Chris's team. So good to see you, Chris, Coach Markey.
Thanks for having us.
Small world, man.
Small world, brother.
But really, thank you. It's a blessing. Thanks for coming tonight. We're glad you're here. Ty and Chris, guys, these guys bring the hammer.
Yeah.
Like, just you guys, you work all day like these just amazing craftsmen. And your amazing team, the ladies at TC Backer and Horizon Lawns. But really, and then you come and do the show, so we appreciate what you do for the community. You do so much for the community.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you. So we just want to thank you. Please share this. It's always nice when you drop a 5. That way we know you shared. It's always great. And then if you could share to a group or a page, drop a 7, drop your town. We really appreciate it. Tonight's going to be a great show. You're going to have an opportunity, again, with social commerce, to be able to get your roofing, siding, doors, gutters, windows. You can even have Behind the Blade come out and give you a fresh cut, hardscape, landscape. So that's what you're going to get, and you're going to be able to look good doing it with Chris here tonight. So it's going to be a great opportunity. Weather Buster in the house. We got a special guest, right?
Yeah.
And we got some great street signs. If you don't see these in your yard, ask for them. And get them in your yard.
That's right.
So, and I heard that Behind the ToolBelt's coming eventually. There's some stuff working on that, so that'll be great. And then that'll be a giveaway some people get for doing their hustle muscle shots in front of TC Backer, wherever it is, whether it's a T-shirt like I have, or a billboard that's everywhere in central Pennsylvania, northern Maryland, or whatever it is. Or maybe you see these guys at the convenience store and you're like, can we really quick throw up the hustle muscle?
Yeah, man.
So,
Absolutely.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Wayne. He just pointed out that Chris made the To the T, or Chris from To the T made the Trey and Boo shirts this year. So shout out for that. Mm-hmm. And thank you for the kind words, Wayne. Big shout out to you, back at you, bro. You do a lot for the community. We got to get you in here. I understand some stuff came up this evening, so definitely get in contact with us when we can get you on here, man. We definitely want to get you on.
Shout out to Wayne. He's just a genuine individual, and it was a pleasure to work with him and what they do at Trey and Boo, and we're just appreciative that we could be a part of that situation.
Yeah, absolutely,
it's what it's all about, and he's a gentleman that, and I call him gentleman because he is a gentleman that you can work with in these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Me and Ty were talking before we came over here, and it's like anything that he's a part of, you know that it's genuine, and we want to be a part of it, man. I mean, he does a lot of work for the community. He does so much outside of the public's eye that no one even really knows about that he does.
Yeah.
Well, I just found out, not to cut you off, Chris, but I just found out that he's part of the York Bears, and the York Bears went through some changes, and he was in our office talking about Trey and Boo, and he learned that we sell equipment and all that. And you know, I have a soft heart for that because I started with EYC, and I was there for 9 years, and I actually started with some other people, the Yorktown Patriots program, and I said, you know, we're all about that. I believe through sports, kids learn a lot of life lessons. And when you have a gentleman that wants to step up and put his time in, which is tough because my wife and my kids have seen what I do, and I coach varsity lacrosse now at Susquehanna. So, you know, I've been playing down this road. I coach football. We talked about it, Shane. I coach football, and I've been blessed through that world. But it's more of a blessing to watch what these kids get out of these youth sports and what they can do for it. And when guys like Wayne walk along and say, "Hey, I'm going to do this," you want to support them, and you want to be there for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just to add to that, you know, especially in today's age where it's so easy for a kid to just use all their social skills through a phone or through a tablet, you know, to get them out in a team sport, a team environment. I've always said that there really isn't much comparison to team sports other than like the military or something like that. I mean, you get taught the camaraderie, you know, to rely on your brother. You know, you don't get that in the normal everyday world. I mean, it's life skills that you learn at a young age, man.
And it was just brought up today. So, you know, Shane's wife is a Jeremy Knobs' cousin, or I believe it's a cousin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I got a chance to coach down there. I was fortunate enough to coach under Pat Conrad down at Redline, and to go down there and coach and to be around people. I'm from Redline, but I got a chance to coach them, Jeremy and Andrew Zellers, and I mean, we could go on and on and on with the people, Brandon Kessler, we could go on and on with the people who get there, but they taught me a lot more as a coach. They say they took a lot from me, and I think and you know, it's what we do in our business. We are a team, we are together, and we preach that every day, and you go out and you grow and you learn and you try to do the right things. And you use those experiences as a coach and you bring them to business, and it correlates. It correlates. It absolutely correlates. And those that have participated in sports or the military, and I use the military, and I coached with a gentleman who went to the Naval Academy and was in, and that all correlates. It all correlates. It's all in the same. And I still talk today to kids that, you know, they're moving on with their lives. The J.J. Gonzalez and the Ryan Bruners and the Brandon Snyders, and they're all successful. They're all doing their things, but it all comes back, and they know my kids. They saw my kids at the practices, and then they see my business, and they still, hey, you run your business like you coach, and I say, yeah, we do. We do.
You know? Shout out Ryan Bruner, best barber in New York. That's my barber.
Well, he's all right. You know what I mean? Ryan Bruner's a dear heart. He actually babysat him, and J.J. Gonzalez and Brandon Snyder babysat my kids. And when I first started dating my second wife, and they're just great people. If I call them up today, they would answer their call, and that's what it's about. I answered the call when they needed somebody to coach their team and be involved with that, and they answer the call now. You know what I mean? There's good people, and you know, that's what we need more of. We need to wrap our hands around that stuff, and be involved, and use that as a world to grow. And we don't see that as much today. Like we see people that worry about their kids' playing time and everything, when really it's more about the camaraderie. My employees, or I should say our employees, the employees that work for me at To The T Outfitters, get more out of the camaraderie and the love at work and want to come to work every day than they do out of, sometimes everybody loves money, but they love coming to work, and I love going to work because they push me. They challenge me. And the football players, when I went every day, I needed to make I was on point, or I did YouTube and looked up these things, or worked under people like Brian Freed or a Pat Conrad, or even like I'm real good friends with Ron Miller at Dallastown. Like I'd love to emulate these guys. Very successful. Ron Miller was at West York. You're very successful, and you can do all these things. And I learn a lot from them, from the sports world, that just correlates directly with my business. And I'm speaking out of turn, but sports is a huge part of my life, is what I'm saying. So
absolutely, man. You could, like you said, you hit it. I mean, you can apply the life skills that you get from sports in so many different aspects of life.
Absolutely.
I mean, whether it's you go on to run a business yourself, and to apply that, like, I mean, it's similar to what you run at your facility. What you run at your facility. I mean, you have that environment that guys will be willing to make less money to go to something that they believe in and they care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's about the less money. It's not, and Eric Brewer talks about it all the time. It's not even about the money. It's about feeling appreciated and being a part of something in that circle of safety, and everyone doing their part. Being able to give someone the responsibility so they feel responsible for something. Do you know what I mean? And not just being dictated on what to do and not allowed to make decisions and stuff. Like when you give a person the ability to make decisions, and they make good decisions, and they feel like they're a part of something. You know what I mean, Chris?
Amen.
Like I've done that with you, Chris, whether if you know it or not. And one of the reasons why you feel a part of things is because I allow you to make decisions on a day-to-day basis. Right. You know what I mean? You feel a part of. You feel committed. It has given you that sense of commitment and standard. And I've tried to lead by example of being the first one there and the last one to leave, and that's you. That simulated over into you. Like we're trying to duplicate what we're doing. The guys that are under you try to lead by example and let them make decisions. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're not just trying to dictate everything that everyone's trying to do.
Yeah.
You
You
know what I
gotta
mean?
trust in your team, man.
Exactly.
That's
You have
that's,
to.
that's part of building the team. You have to build a team that you trust. Put people
Absolutely.
in positions that you know that they can succeed in. That's
Absolutely.
That's our job as
And you got to
leaders.
support them.
Right.
I mean,
100%.
it's the
And
support.
And if they make the wrong decision, we have to support that. Behind
Yeah.
the scenes, I might scold you a little
Right.
bit, but I'm going to not do that in front of whatever the customer.
Whoever you made that decision with.
Yes,
Right.
you know.
just like on a team. So if a player goes to the wrong hole in a certain play, and you bring him to the sideline and say, hey, are you listening in the huddle, or are you doing all this? The same with an employee. We're gonna make it right so the customer doesn't know.
Yes.
Right, but we're gonna talk about it behind the scenes to
Right.
say,
Yes.
were you listening? No, I wasn't.
Right.
Okay, great. You
Yeah.
need to listen in the huddle.
Right.
We have that every day in our office.
Right.
I love them though. I'm gonna
Right.
wrap my arms around them, and I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people that are very good. My sales manager is phenomenal. Like, he's been part of my growth, but he's phenomenal at what he does. But I gotta support him because there's other people that are very dynamic. We have 17, 18 employees now,
Yeah.
and they're all very dynamic. So I gotta be part of all of that, and he runs certain parts of it.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, I gotta be there to support him.
Right.
And just like, the quarterback breaks down,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the offensive coordinator because my offensive line did everything. It's his job to walk over and go, hey, look, we did
Yes.
this. It all correlates.
Yes.
Right.
It really does correlate.
It does.
It correlates to a sense of that the kids get love. Let's talk about love a little bit. When they feel that you love them, they'll never forget it.
Right.
Whether they're getting it from home at that point or your employees,
Right.
they'll love you. They'll call you. Hey, I was out at the store and I saw this and he was wearing this and I took a picture of their tag and, I was working this guy and I found out that he's the GM over there or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
They're going to work for you because they know that benefits them down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And we just had a situation too where it was, Chris has other, people underneath him, and we were having a situation with one of the guys that works underneath Chris, and I didn't go over Chris's head and step in. It was like, Chris, hey, this gentleman is dropping the ball a little bit over here, and Chris didn't handle it in a manner of screaming and hollering. It was more so, okay, so we identified what the problem was, so what's the solution? Chris
Right.
had a 45 meeting about the solution.
Yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? It wasn't, he didn't have to degrade that person. He didn't have to belittle him. He didn't have to make him feel less than. You know what I mean? And that's a perfect example. Now, whether if it went in one year or out the other, time will tell.
Right.
Yeah, and at that point in time, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. But the other thing is, too, there's also a time and a place where you do have to step in and be the boss and put your foot down. But there's a fine line there of deciding when that time is.
Right.
And the longer that you're in business, early on, I was younger. When I started out in business, I was young. I was younger. You know what I mean? And did I make the right
Years
decision?
ago.
Yes.
Years ago.
Right. I'm not going to reveal my age.
He said, who's counting?
Yeah, right. Who's counting? Honestly, I'll have to anytime anyone asks me my age, I have to think about it because when I was younger, I always lied about I was being older,
Yeah.
and now that I'm older, I always lie about being younger. So I forget how old I am anymore. So anyhow,
So
but,
but you guys talk about culture, and that's what it always comes down
Yes,
to.
right.
It doesn't matter if you look at a band like the Eagles. How does a band like that stay together as long as they did? Right? Culture. How do other bands not? Culture. How does a Tom Brady stay in New England? Well, it's not about like or not like, but why would he stay in that culture? Right? It's a winning culture. It's not cutting corners. Right? Excellence has a price to pay. But there's people that want to pay the price to be in that culture, right? So it's always culture over compensation.
Yeah.
Because that's what you take home at the end of the day. That's your spirit. That's your soul.
Right.
And that's what you bring every day. Like, listen, it doesn't matter what goes on. Look how you flourish through everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because you had a tight belt. It fits you. You stayed in your lane.
Well, I think on that point, you have to look at also like your employees appreciate that culture. So
Amen.
a lot of people say, how do you get your employees? Well, I first go to my employees because they don't want to work with a jagoff.
Yeah.
Right.
They just don't want to do it.
Right.
So they'll come to you and say, I know this guy. And that's guy that they're going to want to work with. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start at that point, and if we go down the road and we can't find somebody to do that, then I'll go to other avenues.
Yeah.
But more than likely, they're going to be spot on because that culture has been set. And
Yes.
do I want to work with this person? And are they going to work like we work? And are they going to do these things that we do?
Yeah.
And they come to you with a name.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
hey, this person may work there, but you know, and it might not work out financially. Meaning,
Right.
like you might not
Right.
be able to afford them. They're making good money, or they
Yeah.
got some benefits that are off the hook.
Yeah.
And I've come across that,
Mhm.
but I start with them because they don't want to work with that person. They don't want to work with that person. They know that when we walk in there from a certain time to a certain time, it's balls to the wall,
Mhm.
and we go home and enjoy the weekend.
Exactly.
So a lot of
Yeah.
people have talked to me. They said, "Hey, you give your employees off Fridays in June and July." Yep. Yeah, okay, we go in at 7 and we leave at 4:30, but they get off. They have 3-day weekends. And how do you feel about that? Well, you know, some of them don't use the vacation that they probably would have, and yeah, I didn't lose that. But you know what? During those 2 months, they love 3-day weekends. They'll take a Monday or Tuesday off.
Yeah.
They love it. They know what's going on. The people that we work with as customers understand we're off on Friday and we're doing these things, and they can appreciate it because the days that we're in November and December and
Yeah.
we're ripping stuff out and
Yep.
we're staying late, they could care less what I do for my employees in June and July because they remember that day that I left something outside so Ty could pick it up at the steps.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah,
stuff. And
absolutely.
hey, thanks for your employees staying late. I know that
Yeah.
might have cost you, but my employees go, or the employees that, well, I say my partners at
Yeah,
the business.
right, man.
I don't like to say
The
my
family.
employees, but the family at my
Yeah.
business looks at it like, well, it'll be made up to us later. And
Yeah.
nobody ever complains about our schedule.
Absolutely.
They work themselves around our schedule because they want to deal with, and I'm going to say excellence. We feel we're excellent, but I'm saying they want to work with people that just care.
Yeah.
Period. End
Yeah,
of subject.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
End of subject. They want to work with people with care. So it goes back to the
Absolutely.
point of the youth thing. You know, youth sports, you're coaching sports. Kids want to play for a guy that cares. He could be the worst coach in the world. If that dude cares,
Absolutely.
they don't. At that age, at 9 or 8, they don't know if he knows what he's talking about or not. But they're going to show up every practice like Coach Smith said. I got to be there at 5:30.
Right.
Great, I'm there
Yeah.
at 5:30.
Yep.
They want caring, and what has been beneficial for us is that caring.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
portraying that to our customers.
Yeah,
We
man.
care.
Yeah.
Ty calls me on short notice. I
Yeah.
need this, and this is what I'm
Always.
going to do. We're going
Always.
to do it. If I called and said, hey, I think I just called him the other day and said, hey, Ty,
Yeah.
I might need windows at my house. This is what I'm looking at. And he's like, "Psh, I'll get it done for you in a little bit.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
tell me what you want, I'll be
Right.
right over.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he may push some stuff aside to get some stuff. I was very patient with a gutter at my business.
Yes.
Very patient. But he was busy. It's a
Yeah.
gutter.
Right.
I wasn't going to beat him up.
Right.
But it got taken care of.
Right.
We worked it out. We moved on.
We did.
Same kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
and those guys showed me love, and they came and made that right. It is perfect.
Yeah,
now.
we
I
went
never-
a little over and beyond to make up for
Right.
being tardy. You
Right.
know what I mean? And we did a little extra back there. I think we upsized it
Yeah.
to 6 inch for
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But you know, with networking with guys like you, and I got to say this before I forget to say this, Chris, you have always came through for me. I've put you in some positions that I think you thought were impossible as well, but you somehow, some way, like with the home show, we needed shirts for the home show. I needed signs for t-shirts and things that I want to get ready for Christmas during the probably the worst time of season for you, you know, over the holidays and stuff like that. But you've always came through for me, and I've always tried to, you know, throw business your way because you've just have always. You answer the call, like when I call you, it doesn't matter if it's a Sunday at 9:30. You've answered me already. I'll text you a design or something like that, and you'll respond back. It may not be what I want to hear, but you'll still respond back. You know, but you're blunt and you're honest with me. Like, nah, dude, that's not gonna fly, man. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, and you know that's the point. The point is, and I tell some of my sales reps, and I'm sure you know, like with what you do or what Ty does, sometimes they don't want the answer. A simple reply, just saying, "I heard you.
Right.
Can I get back to you Monday?" They're like, yeah, because they're sitting with their wife, and their wife is just grilling them, just grilling them, and all they want to hear is, "He's gonna call me Monday."
Yeah.
That's all they want to hear.
Right.
So
Just something other than silence.
Yeah.
Correct. I talk to the sales reps in my office and I say a simple, hey, can we handle this on Monday? And 99% of the time they're gonna be like, yeah, we can. It was on my mind. I wanted to get it to you. And then we have situations where we put it on a notepad or we put it in our, Trello, and you just have to answer. Listen, we all know the challenges. You call me and put me in positions. Eric Brewer calls me. He could be on vacation in Jamaica, right? Eric Brewer calls me, but I'm going to answer Eric's call. And that's what Eric calls about. But if I call about a house, Eric's going to answer, like him or somebody at his, that's what they do. That's the culture that they created. And they're going to answer that call. And if I end up sending an email to Eric and CC somebody because they haven't gotten back to me, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to do, hey, Eric, I haven't heard back from anybody, and I'll CC the other person. I don't want that email either. Like I tell my employees, don't let me get that email. Like don't let me get that email. Like I don't want this, they didn't get back to me. Now, of course, things happen and you work through it. But I don't want that email. I want the email where like, hey, listen, we're walking down this road. Hey, Chris, my budget's tight. Can you work with me? And my sales rep then comes to me, or the sales rep comes to me and says, hey, look, they want to be here. And I'll be like, hey, listen, what do they spend? $50,000 a year with me? Great, let's make it work. Let's get it done. Or they need it by then. What's in the schedule? Hey, if we move this one day, that ain't going to be, they're not really, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, we can get your stuff done. But that's the key to it, is just, I want them to understand that we see all. They don't think we see this. No. You know what I mean? We see it all. We hear it all. Sometimes I'll get calls and they don't even know I know. They don't even know a problem went on that I know a problem went on at the office. But I know. I know. But I don't bring it up unless it's a necessity.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
You gotta have faith in your people.
How about shout-outs? Can we do some shout-outs? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Who do we shout them out to?
Anyone
we
you
got
see
all
on there,
kinds
man.
of
We'd
people
like to say hi.
Dan Barker. Members first. What's going on, buddy?
Jana, good to see you. Diane Brooks, it was nice talking to you today on the phone. Tammy, my sister, McAllister, good to see you. Brandon Ness. Who else? Chuck. Hey, man, Chuck, thanks for your donation. I guess Wayne and Chris are going to set up some kind of GoFundMe thing. Who else is on here? Dan Barker.
We got Tyler Richards in here. Brandon Severns. Those are two guys from TC Backer. Tyler's one of my field guys. Busts his butt for me in Maryland. I appreciate you, buddy, as always. Brandon, he does what I do in the PA division. He does an amazing job.
Yes, he does.
Another guy that I can't do what I do without him for sure.
Andrew, good to see you. Vernon, good to see you. John, good to see you. Love you, Andrew. Appreciate you. You're awesome. I've known you like 30 years. Great guy. Keith, good to see you. Daniel Barker, good to see you. Bill Duke, Wayne Scott, Matt Hockley, good to see you. Lauren, good to see you.
Kim Smith, good to see you.
Yeah, Kim, you're awesome.
She's on vacation right now. Happy vacation.
Yes, happy vacation to you.
Happy vacation. She definitely has deserved it. She takes one, once a year. She's not one of those people who call off on Mondays or leaves early Fridays. I mean, she's ride or die. She does the 50, 60 hours a week thing. So if anyone deserves a vacation, that's definitely Kim. She doesn't bitch.
I've been there a little over 2 years, man, and I don't think that she's ever called off since I've been there. I've never seen it. She's there every single day,
very seldom would she have to. If anything, she's left early. And that's due to family situations or something, not just because, she's one of those. She'll set her appointments for after work, dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, or Saturdays. And she works Saturdays too.
Yeah, she comes in the morning for a couple hours on Saturdays.
Yep, absolutely. David Bruno, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always supporting us. Chuck is on there. He's killing it all the time. And Jana, thank you. Paul, good to see you, brother. Mindy, Michael, thank you for watching always and supporting us.
Dan Barker, I know you work at a bank, but my wife's a commercial lender for M&T, so I just got to give her a shout out. She supported me coming here tonight. Maybe not like that I left home, but she. And Dan, I know you work at a bank, but I sleep next to her every night. So M&T's kind of like my gig.
Andrew, thanks for sharing. Everyone that shares, drop a 5. Thanks, Dorothy, Chris, everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. You know, this is a social community. This is called social commerce. Now more than ever, which we've always talked about before COVID, that, you know, this is how you buy stuff. It's what ups Google, and yes, Google is actually seeing the company you're going to work with. These guys, 28 episodes. You took over the home shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you changed the culture of the home shows where it's no competition.
Yeah.
Look, get 3 estimates. That's what you said. Get 3. Make your judgment. You want to deal with the culture you like.
Yeah.
You know, there's a million pizza places, and I go to certain ones where I just feel like it's Cheers, right? Like, I don't drink, I eat pizza.
Right.
You know, and I feel that way. I go there.
They make you feel
And it's
welcome.
cool. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. But I go to the ones where I feel that culture. So please share this. It's imperative. One of your friends has a situation, whether it's windows, leaky roof, door, you know, they need a fresh cut on the yard, their business, they need to look good. You know, Chris is here, man. You get to meet him today, right?
Yeah.
And these are all very busy because entrepreneurs with several businesses, you have the opportunity to see where it all started and to see the story and what matters. And that's just something cool that we get to see, that we, as our age, we saw the Jetsons and we're living it, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I do have to say one thing. The one thing that I admire the most about Ty is, you know, I have a son, a middle son, who went through some tough times, and I took my son down to Ty to get a job because, you know, he had some challenges, and though he doesn't work for Ty right now, but going through those challenges and what he was going through, Ty accepted him as if he was, you know, just another person not going through challenges. And my son showed up every day, and though he doesn't work for Ty now, he still loves him now as much. You know what I mean? If he'd see him now, he'd still love him and care about him. And that's what these kids need to know. Sometimes they get quiet. Like, they're like, hey, listen, you left me and went somewhere else. That's fine. I still love you as a person. I still care about you. And that time was truly a growth period for my son.
Yeah.
Getting up every day at 5 o'clock to be at the shop and working from 6 to 6 and coming home and falling asleep and getting up. He needed that during that time.
Right.
Though he's not going to he didn't stay in that thing that whole time. Ty looked right at him when I brought him up, and he said, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it's not going to be easy. And to be honest with you, you know, my son looks at it and calls him Mr. Ty.
Yeah.
That's a respect to me. My kids can never call anybody like, you know, hey Ty. No, that's not it. It's Mr. and Mrs. till they tell you otherwise. And he still calls him Mr. Ty. If I call him right now, he's like, hey man, hey, I see you're on there with Mr. Ty. You know what I mean? It's a respect thing. You gave me an
He's such a good
opportunity,
kid too, man.
and he worked hard, and like he had to ride around in his truck every day. And these guys are like, grab that and you're gonna do that. They put him in the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah.
And
he was in the backseat of the truck. He you know, there's seniority when it comes to a
Absolutely, man.
a 4-door truck.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Been
mean?
there, bro.
He was in the back in the middle. He didn't get the window. He didn't get shotgun. He was in the middle.
Nope, you go from the back middle, then eventually you'll get the window seat, then eventually you'll move up to the passenger seat,
That's right.
and eventually you'll get in a shiny new truck for yourself. That's just how it works.
Exactly.
Man.
You know, and not everyone gets to experience that, but again, it's you learn that fellowship and that camaraderie, and it's respect.
Right.
Automatically, you know, you sit in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't, you're going to be told. And then after a while, when another new guy comes, then you feel like, hey, I'm starting to arrive here, man. I get the window.
Yeah.
Now you're sitting BICTH.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's how it works, bro.
The crazy thing is there was 2 things that happened. So we redid the signs for Horizon, the nice round signs, and they're
Love
badass.
'em.
They're just badass.
Yeah.
So you have Garrison going, yeah, I work for this company, and my dad made the signs for this
Yeah.
company. It was like a pretty cool thing,
Yeah.
you know, to hear your son talk about that.
Yes.
And they talk about that with me. He still drives down the road and, hey, Horizon, I see they're all over the place,
Yeah.
and I'm glad those guys are doing good.
Yeah, man.
But he also, with me, it's a pride thing for him. Like, oh yeah, oh you work yourself. Yeah, my dad does their shirts. Like, it's a pride thing for
Yes.
him. And
it should
it was
be.
a huge bonus for my son to go through a challenge. We as parents think we can challenge our kids all we want, not until they get out in the real world. And when he had to sit middle in that thing, and he was like, they were going to lunch, and he was packing his lunches, and you know, you eat it from one ride to another,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you work 6 to 6, and you come home and fall flat in his face and sleep, and get back up in the morning, put the same pants on, and back out the door they went.
That probably first week or two of his career at TC Backer, he learned what tired was.
He loved the money. Don't get me wrong, he didn't spend it.
Absolutely.
He was like, I get a check, I go home, put it in the bank, and I did nothing.
He didn't have the energy to do anything.
Exactly.
No, I know, man.
You know what I mean?
There's
But that's-
nothing worse than riding home with that sun going in your eyes and you cannot keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
But that's the appreciative thing. Like, we have people that, you know, and Brewer then gave him a job, and he did through that, and like they do it, and the kids move on. You got to let them grow, but you all don't. Those people don't hold it against you as a dad. They understand. You know, I've had some really good talks with Eric. He's like, my kids got to learn. Your kids got to learn. We got to do this together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we don't hold it against the kids, and then they have a lot of respect for it. But I tell you what, when he does stuff on the side now, he runs it like he's working at Horizon.
Nice.
Like, when we get to that job, this is what we do and how we do it. Like, a couple buddies, and they're going to do a mulch job or something on the side for a family member. They get out of the truck, mulch is right there. This is you're cutting, you're doing this, you're doing like, we're in and out. And I'm thinking, man, I've tried so long to do that, and all it took you was sitting in the middle of the back of the truck, right? With Ty, right?
That's good, man. That's awesome. That means that we're doing what we are supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
You know, it's something that you should be learning stuff for. At least me personally, any job that I've worked at, you're going to take pieces, you know, of things that you're going to take with you on your entire career. And like you said in the youth sports, it starts right there sometimes. You know, you learn some of the stuff that you're not going to learn
the
anywhere
seed
else.
was planted. You know, at that point in time, that was a big stepping stone for him in his young adult life.
We take care of our kids. We don't want them to have to go through what we went through.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But all they see is end results.
Uh-huh.
Right? All they see is where we are now, not where we came from, or not who's sacrificed, like my wife or your wife or your wife, or whatever. Nobody sees what they sacrificed. They just see the end results. Oh man, you know, nice house, they pay their bills.
They don't
see the sacrifices. But they didn't know, like,
you sacrifice.
Right, but they don't see, like, when I was a 16-year-old kid in my first job on a farm, and I walked up and they're like, hey, this cow can't have this calf, and stick this thing on and reach down there and drag this cow out, and oh, by the way, we're going to go bale hay for 7 hours, 8 high on a trailer, and do you know how to drive a tractor? Nope, get up on it and start driving. You'll figure it out down the road. Our kids don't know that.
No.
Like, we want to tell them, like, hey, put it in first gear, and then you do this, and it was a 3 on the tree international harvester, and I'm driving down the road, and it's bucking like crazy, and they're like, you don't know how to drive this? No, never been in one in my life.
No.
Our kids don't know that.
No.
They don't.
I feel you, buddy.
They don't know that. I flipped burgers at McDonald's. Now, granted, it was to play basketball because they had a basketball team, and I had to work 3 hours a week, but I flipped burgers at McDonald's, or I made Egg McMuffins. It sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I worked in all these things, and I come to appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all, and now I think as our kids get older, and my older son is working for me now, they go, oh, this isn't as easy as it seems. Like, you know, oh, you gotta pay them? Yeah, a lot of money. By the way, we get paid last. You know. And I've had to teach my kids that. I've had to teach them that, you know, when I started my business, it was, I pay myself last. I gotta have to pay all of them, because down the road I'll be paid. You know, well, what retirement you have? I don't have any. Well, what is it? It's my business. I put my money back into my business and into my employees, and it'll treat me right down the road. I just have to make sure. That's what they have to learn. I have to learn to sit in the back of a truck. I have to learn to get smacked in the face in sports. I have to learn to do all this stuff, and it's going to come around, and we don't do that enough. We want to hand them the Nikes, and we want to hand them the phone, and we want to do all of this, you know, and some of that's on us, right?
It is. No, I agree 100%.
So when another person that you're friends with, dear friends, like Ty, comes in and says, yep, get in the back of the truck, that's your shit for the next couple. All right, you know, they learn it, and you won't forget it. Like you said, his never gonna. When we get out on a job, even if his uncle calls him, you want to do mulch, and his uncle's like, "Hey, man, you guys are like killing it," and he's like, "Well, this is the only way I know how to do it." You know,
That's awesome, man.
then you learn from it.
That's good stuff.
You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll stay with him for the rest of his life, man.
Yeah, and we don't know that. You don't know that you did that, and those guys that he works with don't know they do that, and nobody does it. Only
Right.
Garrison knows that, and until you say, "Hey, this is what we did for my son,"
Mm-hmm.
he might not admit it now. Guarantee you, he's drinking a beer when he's 45 years old, and he's sitting with his son. And he was like, "This dude Ty, right, brought me in and
Yeah.
put me in this truck,
Right.
and I was sitting middle,
Yeah.
like I didn't have a window,
No.
and it was hot."
Yeah.
And we had to eat between jobs.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, and at first he didn't have time to. They'd stop for food, and he didn't have money, so he was sitting in the truck eating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hey, sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, man.
You
do.
You just gotta deal
Those are
with it.
those learning experiences in life that changes a person, man. That's going to be the deciding factor of which road, which path he's going to take.
Well, for any of the
You,
employees.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
In
any of
his
the
life.
employees, you don't know where you are in your business that somebody is watching you
Yeah.
and they're looking for a change in their life,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
You don't know where that is.
No.
Right?
No, it's never going to be a good idea until they think it's a good idea. Even though you've been telling him this all along, it will not be a good idea until he decides.
Anybody, an
I
employee,
guarantee it.
kid,
Me,
an employee.
I was the same way.
Right.
You know, all the things that my parents told me or past employers and stuff, don't do this, don't do that, you need to do it this way. No, I'm different, I'm unique. Until I fall and smack my head enough times, it won't be a good idea until I think it's a good idea.
Now, don't get me wrong.
And I'll
Ty.
take the credit for it. Even though you've been telling me to do it this way the whole
Right.
time, I'm still going to take the credit for it.
You know, don't get me wrong. Right, you're going to take the credit for it, but don't get me wrong. There is times in my life still at 52 years old that I've told my wife, look, you might not like what I do, or you might be trying to tell me something and I won't hear it. Every once in a while, you got to hit me in the head with a 2x4.
Right.
Not literally,
Right.
but you got to hit me.
Metaphorically hit you in the head with a 2x4.
Metaphorically walk up and go, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're a jerk.
Yeah.
You know, and she does. Now, my wife is very close to the chest, very quiet, unassuming, but we've come to that part of my relationship. She'll tell me,
Yeah.
why
And that's
you
good.
why you being an ass,
Right.
right? And
Yep.
and we need to be able to do that with our kids too, or our employees,
Mm-hmm.
right? We need to be able to walk up and go, like, this isn't cool. Like,
Yeah.
why am I even having this discussion with you? You've been with me for 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, so it all comes back around.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's key is culture. It goes back to him saying culture, whether it's with your family or your business or you know anything. It's all
Right.
about culture,
Exactly.
sports. So I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry,
No,
guys.
no,
I'm
man,
taking.
yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
absolutely.
Todd, good thanks for watching tonight.
No, but
buddy.
what
Good
people
evening.
hear is, you know, and people hear this week after week. Listen, repetition is the master of success. So when you hear the same people, find the common thing. What I did was I have 10th grade education, so I had to find people that were successful in what I looked at success as, right, which is a lifestyle.
Close your
And so,
circle.
what are they doing? What are the common things that everyone has?
Right.
And I was like, I wish someone would have told me that they work so hard because I don't know. And I did decide to. I really want to go over there. There was a couple times we said, you know what? Maybe we just want to work for someone. Maybe that's a better option for us.
Yeah.
Because you do have to decide which option is yours. You know, you miss barbecues, you miss gatherings, you miss stuff, right? And my family knows but it was me. So, you know, and I learned from people like you watching when you guys come up here. So people that want to learn, one of the things they get is an education.
Yeah.
From people that just followed their passion
Yeah.
and they combined it into a life. You hear Chris talking about being a coach and that's important in his life. He did not let that go out of his life.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, Ty, you're fishing and all the things you do. You do so much, both of you, all of you do so much community work.
Yeah.
And you didn't let that fall out of your life, whether it was
No.
Boy Scouts or your grandma,
Yeah.
like you talk about teaching you,
Yeah.
right? And your mom,
Yeah.
right? Or whoever it was that taught you.
Yeah.
Some of those things you held on to
Yeah, absolutely.
from those
Absolutely.
experiences.
Yeah, my mom was always working with the community, always. She
And I
was
hear
in
you
so
talk.
many different things. Yeah, that's where I get it from, for
Yeah.
sure.
You
That
know?
and I have been blessed beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, you were busting my balls out there, but you know that doesn't come easy.
Right.
None of this comes
No,
easy for
it
any
doesn't.
of us. You know
It
what I mean? And
doesn't.
we can bust
Yeah.
each other's balls because we know where we've been and what it took to get to where we're at today. And all we try to do now is spread the love.
Yeah, and not even just to stop at what it took to get to where you are, but what it takes to constantly stay hungry and maintain what you have.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Because it's not like, oh, we made it.
Right.
That's not how it works. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe for some people it can work like that, but you know, if you want to continue to grow your business, you never made it.
Well, I wake up every morning, usually around 4:30. My wife always makes fun of me, but I get up every morning at 4:30, and I go on YouTube, and I've tried to find these people that I want to follow and watch their things from them.
Yes.
And one of the first people that I started following years ago when I moved to my new building, and I'm taking on this big thing, was a guy called Simon Sinek, and he always talks about leaders eat last. Finding your why.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's the infinite and finite game with your business and defining those things. And I always tell people, you need to read or go online. You need to find those people that connect with you. Even if you watch Joe Rogan and you don't believe with Joe Rogan, he has people on there sometimes that you talk and you listen to him and you just say, wow. Never thought about it like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or somebody else that's in the world. Like, I do a lot of that. And I can't say it's self. I don't want to give it that much credit. I just listen to these people and go, like Elon Musk. Okay? I'm a big follower of Elon Musk. And people laugh at me all the time. And I say, my man went to NASA and said, what's your biggest problem? Because NASA was failing. And he got money from the government, and they said, well, when we send a rocket in the air, okay, it falls in the ocean, and we have to buy a new rocket every time. And it costs us a lot of money. And he said, oh, well, then land the rocket. And they said, you can't do that. And he said, I'm going to do it. 18 months later, sends a rocket in the air and lands the rocket. And they're like, how'd you do that? And he's like, because I told you I was going to do it.
Right.
That's the way we do with our business, right?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. I'm going to figure out a way.
Yeah.
And if I can't do it for this customer, I'm going to go home and I'm going to figure out a way to say, why couldn't we do that?
Yeah.
We can do that for you, right? Elon Musk does that every day. Australia came to him and said, we can't hold all the power from all the sun that we get on our solar. And he was like, well, I'm going to put 100 batteries down there, and if I don't, then I'm going to pay for them all, and I'm going to do it in less than 100 days.
Yeah.
And if I don't, you're going to get them for free. And they're like, you can't do that. He did it in 63 days.
Nice. That's amazing.
Right? So we're going to walk in,
Yeah.
right? We're going to walk in and look at these things and go, like, Ty, I have a window that's a challenge. And Ty's going to go, I think we can find a way to get there. I got enough contacts that we're going to find a way to get this
I might
done.
not have an answer right now, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Or, look, I don't even know what to charge you.
Yeah.
I might even just charge you what I'm charged on this, just so I can learn from this,
Yeah, to
because
figure it
I
out.
guarantee you I'm going to find that thing
Yeah.
again down the road.
Absolutely.
Right? Hey, Chris, I can't do it. You know, I put a concrete fireplace that looks like a tree in my back, and Jeff Johnson looked at me and said, I need customers that we need to see this, right? He brings customers down to my place. He put it in for cost. They come down and look at this thing and go,
Nice.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was thinking when you were talking. It was like, even though, let's say I lost money on it, but it would be a piece that I could show people. It would be a good, I don't know if you want to call it a marketing piece or, you know, just another feather in our hat. Like, look, no one else could do this, but we figured it out.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
Elon Musk figured it out. We figured it out. Mark Cuban talks about figure it out. He talks about it all the time.
Yeah,
Figure it
absolutely.
out.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you no, but if I have to tell you no, the next customer ain't gonna know.
Yeah.
If I have to walk away and go, I can't do that, the next customer.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me every day. Like, I look at this stuff and go, man, I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Anybody can go get t-shirts printed. They can't get the customer service. They can't get the time involved. They
Yeah.
can't get the truth. They can't get all of that stuff. There's people that'll sell you shirts just to sell you shirts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I want to sell you shirts because I want you to be my customer for
Yeah.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
You want me to be your
Absolutely.
customer. You might not know to put another roof or windows in my house, but I want to be able to walk into Rudders. Hey, Ty, what's up?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Absolutely, man. And you can't just look at experiences like, let's just say you fail at something and you can't figure out how to put that window in. Look at the positive in it, because you just figured out 8 different ways that you can't put it in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So take the positives out of every situation and the learning experiences, and that's not a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you learn something that you take with you,
right,
you'll never fail. I mean, that's not a failure.
Well, if you listen,
and we talk about that all the time. Those are the moments where you grow.
Yeah.
That's how you grow. Do you know what I mean? Let's say there's a difficult customer. I'm going to use this as an example. There's always going to be a difficult customer. All that is, if you can spin that around and look at that in a positive way, that's only making you a better person and a stronger company. If you can make that customer happy, that was difficult. Like, what are they complaining about? What's making it so difficult? Are they complaining that you weren't safe enough? Were they complaining that it wasn't clean enough? What are they complaining about? And if you can really focus on the solution and not the problem, it's only going to better you and the company. And that's what I try. We had this conversation. There's a gentleman that we've done work for several times over the years in the commercial aspect of things, and nobody likes to do work for this guy. The way I see it, this guy has only made us stronger. He complains about safety. Safety. Okay, I know it's a pain in the butt, but aren't we professionals?
Yeah.
Don't we want to be safe?
shouldn't we be safe?
Yeah, well, then what's the problem? Why are you complaining right now?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, do we need more safety equipment? Okay, then let's go get the safety equipment that we need.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because things change. Buildings are getting bigger. Buildings are getting longer. We need to stay up to date on our safety stuff. And that's what this guy has done for us over the years that I've done work
And
with
he
this
don't
guy.
even know it.
No.
He has no
He has
clue.
no idea, nor will I tell him. you know what I'm saying? Because me and this guy have almost gone fisticuffs. I drove from Maryland already to meet this dude in the parking lot. up to Mechanicsburg.
Only to buy more
Dude,
safety
I was
equipment.
so wore
Only
out.
to buy more
Listen,
safety
listen, I was so wore out by the time I beat him up a dozen times in my head and myself on the way up the road to Maryland one day. Thank God he didn't want to go rounds with me, because by the time I got out of the truck and met him face to face, I was so wore out and so emotionally hungover, man, from just in my head the whole way up the road. Thank God. And you know what? It was such a great conversation when we got there. And I think, and this was probably 8 years ago. It was up at the Meridian. Over at the Strand, not the Strand, but the
Meridian Townhomes across the street there.
Yes.
Across Lisburn.
Yes. So it was over there. When I got there, when I left, that's when I came up with that thought. The light bulb went off. Whether if this guy knows it or not, he's right. He's right, but I don't want to admit that.
Right.
Okay?
You gotta win.
Yeah.
Gotta win.
Right. But all he did was improve our company. So
Right.
I had to get 12-foot extensions, add more braces. You know what I mean? Like, there was his complaints were legit.
Right.
They were. Do you know what I mean? If I could just shut up and get out of the way sometimes, and just listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to know everything. Right. I don't. And the older I get, the more I realize that. The more that I think I know, the less I know.
Yeah, man.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. That's all I gotta say is amen to that.
Yeah. But did we get in those situations? Yes, we'll have a disgruntled customer. Okay, that's fine. What can we do next time so this doesn't happen? That's a growing point in a company or in an individual.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all that is. What happened? Did we not have the right material? Did we not? Things happen. People don't sleep well at night. And they go to work and they perform badly. Or was it the weather? Was it too hot? Was it too cold? Was it raining? Was it windy? Was it unsafe? What was the situation? How can we make it better?
Right.
That's what it's really all about.
I love
And that's the difference between a man or a child.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? That can actually admit that he was wrong.
And I think that's a valuable point, because you have to be able to admit you're wrong. But the other point that I learned from Eric Brewer, by far one of the best sales teachers in this area, by a mile. Long time ago, he taught me a phrase, and it was, somebody's yelling at you. They're screaming at you, just screaming. And he looks at him and he says, what part of me wants to help you when you're talking to me like that?
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me that a long time ago, and I've used it on multiple times. And you watch the people just go, they have to think about it. They have to go,
Carmen.
you know what I mean? So then they back off, and how you address the situation determines. Like, you could have walked up and fought with that guy, never got another ounce of business, but hold on a second.
And we still do business with this guy today.
We just recently wrapped up one of the biggest projects that we've done as a company.
Yeah, but I bet you had your
From
safety.
that guy.
You had your safety square before you walked on that place.
Yeah.
You were like, everybody strap up.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
in. You know what I mean?
And to be honest with you, Chris, one of the biggest problems with the guy is he's just really good at his job.
Yeah.
He's so thorough and good at his job. You don't get away with nothing.
He's the guy you don't want to work for, but he's the guy that you want to work for you.
Right.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And if you do him right, his
Yeah.
mouth won't stop. He'll support you, whatever.
They still call us to do their work.
Yeah.
So we must have done something and made an impression.
Because you
on
probably
him.
addressed this. You addressed this
I-
situation, and he was like, "Hey."
I was trying to be funny earlier, but I did admit to him that he was right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because and it takes a real person,
Correct.
a genuine person, to admit their faults and that they were wrong. And that conversation, when I got out of that truck, totally went in a direction that I don't think neither one of us thought it was going to go in. I thought he probably thought, and I thought our relationship was over. Working and whatever other relationship we may have had at that time, we both probably thought an hour prior to me getting there that relationship was over. I can make any situation as bad or as worse as I want, or I can make it as good or as better as I want.
Yeah.
And that decision's up to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that person. The person that's screaming at you, you can scream back and make it worse, or you can say what you said earlier. Why would I want to help you by the way that you're talking to me right now?
Right. Or why would a customer want to buy anything from me if I get out of the car ready to fight?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, Ty, and I think you understand that there are times when, like, I just recently had a situation, called a rep. 38-year-old rep.
Mm-hmm.
His phone messages are full.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't text me back. It's pretty much a dire. If I'm calling you, it's a dire situation.
Yeah,
I don't want to bother you, right? So when he answered the phone, I said, or he finally called me back. I said, look, I don't want to treat you like this, but you know, you're 38 years old, and I feel like I'm talking to my 18-year-old son, Garrison, and saying, your messages are full. You don't text me back. Like, there are times that you do have to address it.
Yes.
There are times that you do have to say
Yes.
things that you don't want to say.
Yes.
But guess what? The next time my sales manager called him,
Yeah.
bruh,
He's on
first
it.
ring.
Yep.
First ring.
Yep.
And by the way, we called back a little bit later in the day, and guess what? Voicemail was all cleaned out.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta say that.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that to a customer.
Right.
But sometimes you have to be able to say the hard things.
Right,
No.
and that's one of those situations where this gentleman was with me, and he was kind of snarty about it. But like you said, he emptied his voicemail box. We improved our safety. Sometimes people have to say things to us in a certain way before we hear it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes as leaders, we're in that position where, okay, we have to make a decision. Is this where I come out and I be polite and try to get my point across? Or is this one of those times where I need to be stern and get my point across? Don't be mean, but mean what I say.
Hardest part of being a leader.
Absolutely.
Right there. It's the hardest part. I mean, I can deal with it in my shop.
Yeah.
But dealing with a customer that's going through all this, and your first inclination is to give in.
Yeah.
It's just to falter
For a customer.
for a customer.
Yeah.
It's just to falter, and you can't.
That's, well, no, not always, but there are times.
No, but
It
you can
depends on
say,
the
listen,
situation.
right, it depends on the situation, but you can't do that. You can't just falter and fall. You
And
got to
cave.
be able to, and cave.
Yeah.
Because then you don't know that guy. That guy might not have beat you up, but the next person might just keep asking and asking. If you give the first
Yeah,
time,
man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say, hey, listen, is there any way we can meet you
Yeah.
in the middle? Or, hey, we haven't done this too. Expectations, what would it take to make you happy?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you find that happy medium, and that's probably my hardest job as an owner of a company. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, people call me and ask me to donate shirts, and we can do that all day long. It's coming down to that customer who just maybe we didn't set the expectations from the beginning, right?
Right.
Then I'm addressing my reps, going, "You didn't set this right."
Yeah.
You know, we've done a lot of good things with our website now. So if Shane would reach out to our website and hey, I'm interested in screen printing, and it gets sent out to, and he sends a thing to us, right? I think I talked to you about it.
Yep.
It automatically comes back and says, here's what the conversation is going to be when we call.
Right.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So now my rep can't say, oh, I didn't go over that, because they know the sheet that goes out. And the customer can't say, I didn't know anything about that. Right there it is.
Yeah.
We sent it to you.
Exactly.
And we can tell if you got it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by setting those expectations or walking in and not fighting or winning the battle, but finding a happy medium, it's going to work out in the long run, because you never know who that customer is.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You never
Right.
know who that customer is.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Be like, hey, Carmen was on here. I saw Shane.
Yeah, let's give some shout outs, man. Frank's Granite Marble, good to see you. If you have a company, post it up. Listen, what makes a community is many companies, right? And what makes a company better is more than one company doing it.
If I can intercede here, I just want to tell you that Carmen Pantano is one of the utmost human beings in York County. He is a true leader. He's about buy local. He has his own business. He is a true saint for this community. He's a very loving and caring guy. He did my granite at my house, and the business when they came in to do my stuff, it was just top notch. I want to emulate what they do, and he has the challenges that we have. I talk to him on a daily basis. I talk to him on a daily basis and talk about these things, but he is another one of those. Like, if you are in a business and trying to grow your business, the Ties, the Eric Brewers, the Chris Markeys, or whatever you want to say, Carmen Pantano, I don't know if you guys know, but I have a mentorship board. So when I started my business, I had a mentorship board. Now, it's not really a board. I take them out for some drinks and stuff, but I throw stuff at them. So Mike Wecker's Carpet, now his son Danny took over the business. Bob Davies from General Machine, Nick Houck owns Keystone Trailer Services. I think you guys have been driving up 83. You see that, and his dad. Those are guys like you need mentors, and if you're starting a business in York, can't do it on your own. There's no way in the world you can do it on your own. You need people to bounce it off of, and you need people that say to you, they laugh at you. Oh, I got this situation. They're like, yep, 15 years ago I had the same thing. And then they'll change the subject, and then all of a sudden they'll come back and be like, now let me tell you how to handle that.
Yeah.
And you need that board. You need those people that you can bounce off of. You need those people that you can give that stuff to, and it comes back, and then you go, they'll be like, hey, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business, but I've been down that road.
Amen.
They're 25 years or they're 30 years, they know, and they challenge you every step of the way. They don't want to make it easy. Why should I make it easy for you? It was hard for me.
Yeah.
Why am I
wasn't
giving
given to me?
why should I give you all the answers?
Yeah.
And the best thing about it is when I go have couple bourbons with Mike Wecker, and we'll be sitting there, and I'll bring stuff up to him, and he chuckles and takes a couple, then swishes it around and laughs at you. That's the highlight of my day. I know it's coming. I know he's going to be like, why are you so ignorant? You know what I mean? But I just enjoy that. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
I learn from guys like
That's
Ty.
invaluable, man. That's invaluable.
And that was the best thing. I did a speech at a bunch of different places, but every time I talked to them, they was like, what's the best thing you ever did for business? Had a mentorship board. And they're like, what do you mean by that? A bunch of dudes that I walk in and go, I've never been here before. And it was the best thing I ever did in my life. And to this day, I could pick up the phone right now. They'll probably reach out to me when I leave and stuff, but I could call them right now and say, I got an issue. And they'll be like, and by the way, if you don't use, and I know there's a lot of carpet companies out there, Mike and Danny Wecker's Carpet, all the guys, Cody and all those guys over there, top-notch crew. York County, local, they do great work. I'm going to give them a shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're not on here, but I'm going to give them a shout out. They're preeminent when you're talking about that kind of stuff, and I can speak highly of that because I've put a lot of carpet and flooring. Ty's been to my shop. I've done a lot of work in my shop.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so didn't mean to take all your time there.
Yeah,
I'm a talker.
Here.
It's what we do. I think I'm
here.
I'm Italiano, man. I'm Italiano. Right, Carmen? Tell him. Right, Carmen? Italiano. Thank ya.
Yeah, shout out to Marinos, man. Maria and Michael,
we got
everything
family
they do
over
on their
there
team
for you,
over
buddy.
there. Shout out to Marinos, man. Awesome.
It's all behind you
Take
right
care
now.
of us.
What is it?
It's up
Oh
there.
yeah, man, that's my crew right there.
Nice.
That's outside of my wife. That's the love of my life. That's Mason. That's Garrison. That's the one that worked for Ty.
Yep.
And that's my daughter
Yeah, I remember
Addison, who's that's the love of my life. This has been awesome, man. I could do this. You want to do it 3 more hours?
Oh, yeah, we can do this. We're glad. So you like the studio? My wife built this. Like I'm the, she is the one that does all this. She's my partner in our businesses, but she built this.
You
And
know
she's
what?
doing
You
amazing.
got to give credit where credit's due, and I'm very fortunate that I have a wife. Not only that she's in the business that she's in, but I'm very fortunate to have a wife that supported me all through this. Actually, she carried me for years. And when you have a wife that's supportive like that, and behind the scenes they're very quiet and unassuming.
I get
Yours
it.
too. They're very quiet and unassuming, but they'll be the first one sometimes to preach about what you do, and really it's them that carried us through all of this.
Yeah.
They're the ones
That
that picked us.
hypothetical 2x4, man.
Man, the 2x4 has always worked on me. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's been a key in my life when she walks up and be like, "Hey, can we have a talk?" And I know it's coming. I just take my hat off and I sit there and I know it's coming. I just know. But we need that.
Yeah.
We're dudes.
Hey man,
Right,
Absolutely,
we're dudes,
man.
right, Shane?
Oh,
We're
that's
dudes.
my life craft, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
man.
She saved me.
Yeah.
And being around you guys, I mean, listen, we all are family here.
Yeah.
This whole culture, I would do anything for anyone at this table.
Yeah, man.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about the culture and that circle and that trust and 100%, man.
Yeah.
Like, so I love Ty, Jana, their whole family, Chris,
Yeah.
you, Chris, being in here. You know, Eric has done well and taking care of us. Eric,
That's a
Brewer,
good
shout
man
out to
right there.
CR Property Group, Integrity First Home
Yeah,
Buyers. He's done a lot for the community.
And let's not forget Anthony. Anthony
Yeah.
does a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget Anthony.
Yeah.
I
Well, the
mean,
whole culture. The
that
whole team.
whole cult, D,
Yeah.
Anthony,
Yeah,
like
sure.
all the boys, Ferdy
Yes.
Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
all
no.
just
I mean,
good
that
peeps.
10,000 that they put together for the food bank, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
and it's
just-
not like he doesn't have enough to do.
Well, listen,
We're a
I'm
team.
gonna give a shout out that Buy Local. Carmine runs that Buy
Yes.
Local, and I suggested everybody
We're a
be
member
part
of
of
Buy
that.
Local.
And usually once a year now because of what's going on, but I usually
Well, I
have a big event at my shop.
Yeah, I heard
have
yours
last
is
year was
epic.
mine's
Yes.
the thing to do. I had two bands last year. We had
Yeah.
booze.
We're
we
Buy
had,
Local.
We had beer and we had
join Buy Local.
food trucks. Bricker is my landlord. Mr. Bricker, just a very courteous person, and Stacy Mark Jones run the hamburger hot dog stand. So we do that and we bring people in, and it's most important now. Right now that we
Amen.
understand to wrap around our arms around those people.
Yeah, man.
When I see a line at Walmart, and I see people going into Walmart, and I understand it's hard for people, and sometimes the cost is like that. But if you can't do that, or if you don't need to do that, man, go find somewhere else to buy. I want I spend a couple extra $100 on something to go down to Smith Village and buy. It's a locally family-owned business. It's like Ashley
Amen.
Furniture.
Right on, man.
And I spent that there, and I do that there. My pool was from a Yorktown Pools, right? My fencing was JD Fencing. He's York. And my Hively's, I give a shout out to Ted and the boys over at Hively's.
Yeah.
That I'm big on. Keep it here, man.
Yeah.
Keep it here, because those people, the longer we
Yeah.
keep it in this community, you start to give it to Walmart, you ain't seeing it.
Victor Security Solutions.
Yeah,
Boom.
absolutely.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
look at you shouting out.
So-
Just shout out.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what these guys are great at. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are great at. They are. Bob Marquette. Bob, you do so much. Your family, Brandon, all of the Marquettes, man, have done a lot for our community for a long time. Shout out to you, man. You guys have always looked out for me. Appreciate you.
Hey, shout out to Kerry Glover too. He's been doing
Yeah.
that basketball league with the
Yeah.
Saints basketball
Saints,
league,
yep.
Yep.
just like Wayne, leaders
Yeah.
in our community. We
Nate
do.
Knight.
Yeah, huh?
Nate too. Yeah.
Yeah, they just do a great job, and that's key.
Local.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this is an example
Yeah.
of here.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it takes a village, and local York, that's the village.
Yeah.
If everyone pulls together, it's amazing what we can do. I mean, you
Yes.
see small segments, small tidbits of what individuals can do.
Yeah.
When everyone pulls together, it's just unlimited.
It's crazy because Carmen posted, and I don't mean to cut you guys off or anything, but when Carmen posted, we have our own Belmont Bean Company, and they're a coffee company.
Jason.
And I was just having a conversation with my son's girlfriend. She stops at Starbucks every day, and I was just like, right down the road, you can stop at somebody local. They live on that. That's their livelihood. Like,
Yes.
understand where it comes from and what they do. You're spending, $5 with Starbucks, and you'll never see it again. It'll never be unless it's the people that work in there. But you go down to Belmont Bean, they'll know you when you walk in.
And go down. We have beautiful restaurants downtown.
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
downtown in the Royal Square. I mean, everywhere. But I'm just saying, there's great restaurants down there.
Yeah, you got to give a shout out to Tony Calderona. I mean, what she does, Amir.
Tony.
I mean, even I do Fig and Barrel stuff. I mean, they kill it. I mean, you could go
Holy
down the
Hound.
line.
Trey
Tom.
Grabush from
Yeah.
Let Us Know.
Let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people down there, and I mean, you could go down the line. Even Tommy Seibel and Jeremiah Anderson at White Rose and Rockfish. I mean, come on. I mean, you got Gift Horse. You could go down the line, Handsome Kev. These people work their tails off, and they're getting beat up because people like Rudders and all them, and that's local, but they want to buy up these liquor licenses, and they're just trying to make it through, trying to give a good environment.
Yeah.
Right? They want you to have a safe place to go.
Certain time you got to lean back and help the littler ones.
Certain times, man, you got to go to the local brewery instead of going and stopping at Rudders for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to say that that's the be all end all, but take care of those, man, because
And we
you know
do
what?
appreciate Maple Donuts. Everyone, thank you for going in on the donuts. We did 870, over 100 dozen donuts. Thank you, Ty, Jana, Chris,
excellent.
all of you.
I didn't know.
man.
What was it?
So we give away donuts randomly, and I want to thank Maple Donuts because they put together in their store and got ready over 100 dozen, and that was thanks to you, Ty.
Yeah.
Really coaching me
a lot
through
of
that
donuts,
situation.
I didn't get a donut, Shane. I didn't get it.
Well, we got to come to your place. We're there.
Yeah.
It's and we can't wait to give you a donut, right?
Yeah.
And that's all based on.
Yeah.
Listen, that was from Scotland everywhere. You guys kind of refueled that whole thing because we were out in the city, and the city saw us when you were doing that job for Life Path. Shout out to Life Path.
Yeah, man.
When you guys were doing the roof, and they said, "Can you go back and do the donuts again?" And they saw us out there with you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
you guys primed that up, and that's from being connected with a circle, man.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to listen to your circle, don't be in that circle. If you run a mile, I run a lot, and mine are slow, like 23. But if you run a 23-minute mile, right? Hey, I do it every day though, right? But if you do, and then you run with, and you're always the first in your group, but you run with someone else, and you're last in the group, you should be last in your group or close to last in your group, right? Like, I don't have all the linear stuff that my friends do, so I ask them all the time. So I appreciate our family that we have. Helping each other. So, I call Ty all day and Chris.
Yeah.
So I'm
Absolutely.
always calling you, Ty.
I get the
appreciate
random
it.
phone calls, Monday, 8 o'clock at night. Hey man, I love you. Hope your day's going good. Just little stuff like that he does, that he takes time out of his day to do. I mean,
Well, I think more of the people that own businesses have to do that for each other.
Yeah.
And I try to do it too. Like during this COVID stuff, I'd reach out. We talk.
Yeah, we do.
Reach out to people. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? And you get different stories from everybody. And though I might be going through a challenge too, listen, we're all in this together, and let's make it work together.
Yeah, man.
And that's what we've attacked at our business is. Let's go take care of our local. And there's a lot of people out there that want to support local, and believe it or not, they don't know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're set in their ways of where they want to buy or how
Right.
they do it. Hey, I need to get windows, but I'll just go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
What? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, like I got this guy and he'll tell me, well, their windows may be cheap. Lowe's ain't selling a window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless they're making some coin on it, like,
Absolutely.
and they ain't gonna talk to you and all that. So,
Yeah, before we get off, matter of fact, I want to show you the star of the show. Y'all haven't met Weatherbuster,
man.
but here you go. At the end of the day, here's
Spin
the
that
star
around,
of the
dude.
show. Spin it around.
Yep.
you
Before
gotta
we
tell
go.
us what that is, Chris.
All right, so
this is the top of the line right here, baby.
It is.
Yeah, this is a solid. Well, it's not a solid composite. It's one
No.
step underneath the solid
Yeah.
composite. But this is a locally manufactured
Pennsylvania.
Weatherbuster window by TC Backer.
Yeah.
We produce these things.
Yeah.
It's a great window,
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
an
We
absolute
actually
great
get
window.
a private label to a local manufacturer who puts our label on it for us, and we give them certain specs, and they do our specs that we want, and they can't sell that spec to anyone else. So we have a direct line to the manufacturer. There's no middleman. It's the best window on the market. Underneath the composite, solid composite wood window. I mean,
Right.
there would be just a small margin of people who would want a composite wood window, but for a good window with low E, argon gas, double hung, half screen, full screen, whatever you want with it, double night latch, you know, it's the best. It's got composite rail, sashes. I mean, it has all the bells and whistles, and it's affordable. It's not the, you know, the $2,000 a hole window like when you go up against other companies. I don't want to say any names or anything like that, but that's a good window, the best window for your money. I'd put them in my house, and they would last a lifetime. I mean, there's lifetime on all parts, the glass, anything, the pieces.
And I'll sell you the sign. I just wanted to say, I'll design and sell you the sign.
Yeah, Chris made the signs for me. Chris
And
made
the visors.
his visor,
Yeah, and
Chris
a
made the
shirt.
shirt
Yeah.
that Shane's wearing tonight.
Cups, I saw well-span cups.
Yeah, we did. We do a lot of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, but we're very fortunate that people trust us.
So just make a phone call, right? Reach out to them. They have a website.
Yeah.
To
You
the
know,
T
basically
outfitters.
what you heard was reach out for a phone call. Hey,
Yeah.
we're looking to do this. Can you help us?
Yeah.
And let them tell them whether they can help you. They do pretty much everything. So
This has
reach
been a
out.
pleasure. I really appreciate that
Yeah,
you
man,
guys
you're
asked me to
welcome.
be here, man. This has really been a pleasure.
Yeah,
It really has.
Thank
definitely.
you for coming on.
This was a great show.
Yeah, man.
This is a great show.
Yes, it
All
was.
right.
And
So-
thank you everyone that
Yes,
shares this.
thank you, Carrie
Yeah, thank
Lauer.
you.
I saw you. Carrie Lauer's on here. Her and her husband owned West End Auto down on the west side, West Market Street. Thanks for watching and supporting us. And I see
Yeah.
Buy Local Coalition is
Yeah.
on there. Thank you for supporting us. Belmont Bean Company, yeah. Where's that located at?
That's over. Well, right on Bellman Avenue, right across from
okay, that makes
it
sense.
used to be the what is that little
There's a
theater.
furniture store on the corner.
There's
of
theater.
right
It's
on
right across
Markey.
from the old York Little Theater, but now it's called like Belmont Theater. It's right across the street.
Right.
Where that
Okay.
old mansion was. I forget what that
No,
is.
it's right across the street. It used to be a bar and a restaurant, Cafe Eurasia was there for years,
Nice.
and then it was like Jamie's Courtside.
Okay,
I believe.
yep, I
It's
know
in that
exactly what you're
building. They
talking
bought
about.
that building. They do a bunch
Awesome.
in there. So
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, Raymond. I see Deb. Thanks for watching, Deb, Lisa, Jeff Smith, and Ashley Bennett. Thank you guys for supporting us.
Yeah.
And the guys, this was a great show, man.
It was
Yeah,
a good show.
absolutely,
It was a good show.
absolutely.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, me too.
It is.
It gets warm in here. So we're
But
gonna
next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, behind the ToolBelt TC Backer. I'm not sure who we're gonna have on, but we're gonna
Yeah.
bring someone on.
Bring
Yeah.
Carmen in. Bring Carmen Pantano in here.
I mean, Carmen, if you're down, man, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah,
bring
sure.
him in. He's a great talk. He's
Yeah.
a good one.
we'll
I
get
just
you
wanna
guys
close.
donuts.
Yeah, I want to close real quick. TC Backer Construction is hiring. I'm looking for 2 service techs.
Yes.
And we're looking for a good estimator. So if you can read blueprints, I want to talk to you. If you know your way around a roof, if you're a sider, I want to talk to you. Reach out to me, 717-916-0732. You can hit me up on my Facebook page. You can hit Ty up. You can hit Shane up. To the T, Chris Markey, any of your outfitting needs. You know, if you're running a sports organization, you need any kind of equipment, he's got that covered too. Signage, advertisement, all that kind of stuff. Hit the guy up. He does great work.
Yes. He does
And
all
support
over.
local.
Yeah,
Everyone
man.
support local.
Yep.
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
Man, I'm sweating.
Me too.
Yeah, dude.
That was a good one.